Las Tías del Rock, or the Rock Hands, in this special English language edition, as we're having a very special guest tonight. I think the best guest we ever had, and that's why we're talking English. This guy here was an original member and also axeman from the Dutch band and legends The Gathering, Mr. Jelmer Wiersma. Welcome to our show. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
We are so happy to have you here and also to talk about the metal life and also your experience with The Gathering, which I think I have Mandelion, as I told you, 95, but I think you bring some new atmospheric death sounds to metal that were never heard. And also the 90s was a special times for metal to come into different genders, let's say. So thank you very much. My name is Sebastián González Lafón. They call me the Gaucho from Coyoacán. This is my friend Jorge Escobedo. How are you, Jorgito?
Everything's cool, my man. Todo muy bien. Buenas tardes, buenas noches, buenos días to everyone. Vamos a estar hablando un poco pocho el día de hoy. We're gonna talk in English and Spanish at the same time. So, let's start, Jelmer, with the beginning of your career. Why were you interested in music in the first time?
I was about 6 years old, and I was really lucky to have the opportunity to learn how to play an instrument.
Okay.
And that's how I got to play, guitar.
Guitar was your first choice?
No.
No.
I wanted to be a drummer, but our neighbor had a drum kit. So my parents were like, no.
The founding walls won't come here.
Way too much noise. It's not gonna
Way too much noise, yes. Wow.
And I had the opportunity to play different kind of instruments. And in the end, it was like, you know what? I'm going to play guitar.
You decided to play guitar at what age? At 6?
6, yeah.
Okay. Well.
And metal was not there yet, the European.
Oh, no.
First sounds. What was the first sounds on a vinyl you heard?
Acoustic guitar.
Okay.
And I started with a guitar teacher, and he taught me like sort of Spanish classic kind of music, not flamenco, but more Spanish classic kind of stuff. And then I was 9.
Okay.
You got to train your finger in there. That is really cool about Spanish guitar.
That absolutely, yeah. And I regretted a bit that I never played it again. But it teaches me to move my fingers over a guitar. But then I became 9. And then a skateboard entered into my life.
Oh my God, skateboarding. Cool.
We
so
were
what?
seriously really fanatic skateboarders. All those old school tricks. And then, of course, you see your first skateboard movie with punk rock and other kind of music, then Spanish classic kind of stuff. I need an electrical guitar.
Of course. Yeah, of course. It sounds great. The first thing you listen that caught your attention permanently in music. What was the first band that you hear that you said, I want to do music for the rest of my life?
A friend of us, I was a little bit older then, and I was still listening a bit to only Iron Maiden and of course Anthrax and other skateboard punk kind of music.
Yeah, Suicidal Tendencies, more crossover things on the skateboarding side, right?
And you can skateboard to all kind of music. But then someone came up to me with a cassette tape and then he said, here, Jelmer, this is metal. So the first time, Voivod, Metal Church, Merciful Fate, it scared the shit out of me.
Okay.
They are Danish, so they are right close to the Netherlands, right? Awesome sounds. And I know you started also on the first demos of The Gathering. So at some point, I think you might have heard Norwegian black metal or the Gothenburg sound. That really caught your attention, or it was like something
We
like
just started. I was the skateboard guy. We had the bass player who was listening to Black Sabbath and Rush. We had the other guitar player, Rene. He was listening to Dutch pop music also.
oh,
And the drummer and Bart, they were more the death metal guys.
okay.
Okay.
Came together and it brought magic. I don't know, we were just doing something. It was not like, hey, we're going to sound like Metallica. No, just play, do something.
Yeah, it's not like you plan it and we're going to sound a bit atmospheric, a bit classical, a bit prog. It just came out there.
It just came out, and the 2 demos we had, they are starting to selling pretty good. So we were like, maybe here is some magic going on.
They
You were like a garage band, right?
Yeah. It started in a garage. I wasn't in the band that days, but they were with 3 guys, and Hans was not there yet. The keyboard player, I met him in school and I asked him for the band. But there were 3 guys in a garage where you put your car, and the first one of their songs.
Okay.
That's
Interesting.
awesome. And the keyboard was
Italia Tonato. Italia Tonato.
What's that?
It's an Italian dish. That's one of the first songs. I'm not kidding. No, really. No, it's a broma.
That was the name of the song?
See?
I think it's like a classical composed, like Strategio or Barretto, like something like that. You know?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
And then they found Hans, the brother of Rene, the guitar player.
Yeah.
And the other guy was like, I don't have so much time. So Hans took over the drums. And they were with 3 guys. And via school and via the neighborhood, we came together, we found each other, and magic happens.
Wow. And how it was the European metal scene? I think you started in '89. You were a kid there. You went to concerts. How was the life and the street in those times?
I grew up on the street with my skateboard and my guitar in my bedroom. And Oz was really not a relaxed place.
It's really small town, right?
Also, but really criminal and not a good place.
Okay.
Okay.
It's in North Brabant, right?
Yeah. It's in the how do you say this? It's in the north part of North Brabant, really close to the Maas. And Oz in those days was called Detroit at the Maas.
Okay. Now we get the point.
Hardcore.
No, I'm not joking.
No. Now we get. So that influenced the first album, the Always album, the sound, because I was listening to it, and it was a raw album, a really raw album.
Oh yeah.
On the sound, on the recordings, all was absolutely raw, but the voice was something else of the gathering.
Wow.
Not even close.
And
what happened there?
Demos also. It was a change from the demos, I think.
Bart was one of the first members. And yeah, he just started to grunt, and he's really good at it.
Yeah, it's a blend, because you can hear the growling death metal. I know you play with death metal, with Death, the band, and also with Morbid Angel in the first steps.
Oh, you know that?
Yeah, man, I'm very fan of Chuck, and I wish I had seen them sometime, but he's gone, and he's a really influence in my life also. But I think this growth then mixed with the female voice also, right? So when you started thinking on 2 singers?
We went to a show in Den Bosch, the Willem II, a really famous club where they had like the metal afternoons on Sunday. And there was Bolt Thrower and Nocturnus.
Bolt Thrower, wow. Really.
And we went there, and then we found out, and it was Hans and me, we looked at each other and said, see, death metal and live keyboards, it's possible. Let's do it.
The keyboards were the key to your first album, right? The keyboards, sorry, were the structural point of that album. Am I right? Am I correct?
The guy was sitting behind me at math classes, and we never paid any attention because I don't like math. But
okay, neither we.
Neither was Frank wearing a Pink Floyd T-shirt, and I was like, "Hey, do you play keyboards or something?"
because of T-shirt.
And I said, like, never dare to ask, of never dare, never.
Maybe or dream theater or a keyboard. Yeah.
And he was like wearing Tubular Bell T-shirts and Pink Floyd, and I was like, "Do you have a keyboard?" I do have like this very small Korg kind of thingy, Casio kind of thingy, by the way. So our first choirs came from his voice that you had to put a microphone.
Yes.
For like 10 seconds or something. And that were our first vocals. Next to Bart's vocals. And then we found Marike.
Okay.
So slowly and slowly it started to build up, and then we were with the whole band. And
it was like a path, like a progressive path you were taking.
Absolutely,
yeah. And then I think in Almost a Dance, you changed the two vocalists. How was that? If it's difficult to change one, you change two. The female.
Well, to be honest, we didn't like her to start with.
Okay.
You didn't like the voice, or you didn't like the person?
The person, mostly.
Okay.
Yeah, and she was so nervous all the time, and the shows were not good. I think it's a bit like Mike Patton from Fate No More, his voice.
Fate No More, yes.
I think there are really great songs on that album, but we were doing the shows with Gorefest, the famous Dutch death metal band.
Gorefest.
And we were doing shows still with them, and it was like, this is our last song, and the whole audience, yeah! Yeah, it was not good fun for him, And
no, of course
like
not.
her, and so we have been quite a while without vocals. So we had a good friend who did some shows with us. He's a good vocalist from quite a lot of metal and progressive bands in Netherlands. Yeah, we started to look for it, and we rented the whole venue, the Willem II in the Bos, where we went so many times.
Okay.
And it was with a television show, and they were like, "You are going to find the next singer today." So we had a lot of people on stage with us playing a song. We did Sub-Zero with a guy, and it sounded actually pretty cool, but it was not what we were looking for.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like
really like a good dead grunt punk metal guy, and it sounded really awesome, but we were like, no, I'm sorry. We had a girl on stage, super nervous. She was so sweet, but she was singing like so horrible. But
this one guy was Neil Dufus. No, Neil, the second vocalist.
Niels Dufhuis, yeah.
Yeah. If you hear him on the Gathering albums, and you come from the first always with the growl, and you hear the second is like a different band apart from the sound, but it really changes the voice, and I think that's why he lasted only one album.
Yeah. Because we like Voivod, we like Motorpsycho, and all those bands do their thing what they want to do. So we said to the audience, no, Always Part 2. This is the new album, Almost a Dance. Okay. And it completely flopped.
Yeah, but
so, no, that's
yes.
So that's the point I was making, Jelmer. Always is a very different album than Almost a Dance. A very different album.
Oh yes.
The thing with you that really bucked me up is every album was extremely different, but in the same path. Do I explain myself? It's like a metal path, but you start like sounding different, imagining things different. How do you make an album and completely other thing on the next one? How do you do that?
Erase everything that was done before.
Yeah, we were just playing, and that's what I think that's the great thing of the gathering. What they're still doing, I think it's a little bit too nice and soft these days, but it's still beautiful. But we just did something. Just go into the rehearsal room. We have two fighting brothers on a Sunday morning in the rehearsal room. I was not allowed to go out yet, so we were all super sober, but those two were allowed to go to the bar.
Okay.
We started that Sunday morning at 11.
Okay.
So we had Hans and Renee fighting with each other.
Oh my God.
Know how do you know how Strange Machine started?
No, I don't. How?
In the attic at their home, they were living at home, and Renee just started down, 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 the riff. And Hans was really laughing at him. Are you fucking serious? It became the most fucking famous song from the band.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Song on Spotify and also on Apple Music. And so we are now in the Mandillion era. That this is my favorite era. Sorry, here comes Anik, right, to the band.
Yeah, I asked her.
Very unique voice.
Before we get into it, Jelmer, I was listening to that specific record today, and I was blown out, man. It was like I'm a prog rock fan since I can remember, and that record was I'm gonna stand up and clap. There's nothing left to do it. The kind of music that you play there, I think it was like the big leagues. Now we're talking about big leagues on that record.
Yeah,
am I correct?
You know that we had only 2 weeks to record Mandillion.
Are you kidding me?
It was recorded and mixed in 2 weeks' time.
Wow.
It's a masterpiece. I have to give 2 lines because the riffing and the licks, the work is awesome. The guitar tone, they are like riff mantras or like atmospheric things, very well textured, let's say. But yeah, the instrumental parts, it's a goth classic, and thank you for that, man.
These like Mediterranean drums that you do, man, that was awesome. It really was. I cannot believe you did that in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we did. No, really.
Wow. You were on the top of your success as a band. Am I correct?
We were sleeping
that
in
was
the
a
house.
breakthrough, right?
Sorry?
The breakthrough came with Mandillion.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It started with Always, which was actually a breakthrough in, music land in the Netherlands. We were pioneers.
Yeah.
I don't want to tap myself on the shoulder, but we were.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. I agree.
Music wasn't created. It wasn't.
And then we were a bit, without a steering wheel and no vocals. And then Anneke came. And
Jelmer, how much the producer impacted that record? How much?
A lot. This guy is an awesome producer. He also recorded bands like Tyrion and
Tyrion, wow.
Those kind of bands, all kind of bands entered that studio.
He was like pushing you guys to do better, or directing, or how was the experience?
I did a lot of work with him. I was on a sound engineering school. Great. And I was super interested because, I did 15 years of sound engineering after that. And I was super interested. So what are we going to do with Anneke? Okay. And we were talking with her and she was like, oh no, wait a minute, let's do it like this. And we looked at each other and go like, huh?
Are you serious? And now she's the only voice, right? Only the female voice remained, right?
The moment I asked her for the band, that's actually a pretty sad moment for her boyfriend. He had like a really nice duo playing Prince, Frank Zappa, you name it, they could play everything. And I went to her with the Adrenaline CD. Would you like to sing a song with us in the rehearsal room? And I see her boyfriend going like, fuck.
I lost her.
And the whole Mendelian album is about love of lost love and feelings and pain in your heart. And
yes, it's a very sensible album also. And Strange Machines has a quoting on the Time Machine from Orson Welles, right?
Yeah.
Who was the brains in the Mendelian album? It was you?
All of us.
In equal percentages?
Yes, everybody came with something. Renee came with the Strange Machines riff, and I was like, oh, I can play this. And Hugo on the bass was like, hey, I can feel it like this. It wasn't like you play this, you play that. No, just play, do something.
It was an organic, very organic album. Am I right?
Magic.
Magic.
Between a couple of people who are just doing something.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome
to
hear that.
And did you hear Emotion Part 1 and Emotion Part 2?
Go.
So Emotion Part 1 started in the rehearsal room.
Okay.
And then I came with a riff at home. I was sitting at home and I was like, hey, this could be Emotion Part 2. So then I found out that the riff, the chorus from Emotion Part 1, that it would fit really well with the riff I was thinking of. So that was Emotion Part 2. But one of my favorite songs is Santa Mercury.
Okay.
It's an epic song. I'm sorry.
It's an epic song. No, it is. It is, man. It is. I agree. Totally agree.
It's a classic when you left all the way through the record. You don't change tracks. And Mendelian happens that. You put the first one straight up to the end. Classic album. And I heard you play the Dynamo Fest, which was this very, very big metal fest, but picking some interesting bands. I got the Dynamo CDs in Argentina, and I learned about you, about Tiamat, about Paradise Lost, Therion, and bands that were breaking the sounds in the 90s, Fear Factory also.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah.
So it was an awesome time. Jorge is a more an 80s guy. He's more like an 80s guy, but I think he really likes 90s also. So we will post Mendelian for our listeners and the subscribers. You will see the link there in Las Tías del Rock or the Rock Hands, and we keep on with this interesting chat with Jelmer. Thank you very much for being here, Jorgito. So after Mendelian, we have Nighttime Birds. That it's like a similar album. In this case, you keep like I really love both. I love both of them.
Sort of like this was Mendelian Part 2. Yeah.
Exactly. I agree. That's the only two ones that are like connected, right?
Yeah. They are really connected. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can hear
later
it.
Albums, when I left the band, they started to play more like prog, movie kind of music, kind of stuff. Yeah. I bought Entombed.
They were, Jelmer, I think they were more like an vocal based band on that time. Am I right?
Yeah. I wanted to stay noisy, so I bought Entombed to the left-hand path.
Okay.
Oh, no, sorry, I'm wrong. The to right, shoot straight and speak the truth.
Okay.
When Entombed turned into some kind of a stoner metal kind of stuff.
Okay.
And they bought Radiohead, OK Computer. It's a brilliant production, but really...
Yes.
With Entombed, like Wolverine Blues, very, very Gothenburg sound. And
Wolverine Blues, really awesome album, yeah.
That's why you parted ways in, let's say, it's a musical differences decision, or...
it started to grow there that I was like, I'm not inspired anymore. And Rene is so much more inspired. He got with the most amazing melodies, and I was like with my guitar, and like I didn't know what to do anymore.
Right.
So yeah, then Anneke and me had a good talk, and it was time to go.
But man, how do you get to that? I mean, you were 5 records, right? You wrote 5 records.
One live
correct?
record also.
No, 4.
Okay,
and,
4.
And the demos.
Okay, and then how do you lose that, man? That path, that way, that dream. How do you lose that?
I didn't really lose it, but I was losing the inspiration in the way they wanted to go. So I still play, I still make noisy music. I got Ableton here on my computer. I have my home studio, but I just lost the inspiration for the music they wanted to play. I wanted to stay noisy with the guitar wall.
Me too, me too. That's where I kind of part ways with the gathering. I must say it. I love all kinds of music, but if I would like to listen to trip hop, I will put a Massive Attack CD. That's my thinking, okay? So
sometimes people say like, but you're this serious gothic metal guitar player. Yeah, but I also like Voivod and Massive Attack and Portishead and all kind of trip hop, weird kind of music. You know, I like almost every kind of music has something which I like. But classical music is destroyed for me in my youth.
Okay.
That's too bad. My parents, mostly my sister and my dad, were only and still only listening to classical music.
Really?
That's a hard uprising.
To this day, they do that?
Every day, if I step out, sometimes I can get my dad's car, and every time when I get in, I hear classical music. I almost fall asleep behind the wheel. You know that suicidal song, Asleep at the Wheel?
I love it. I love it. You're asleep at the wheel.
Suicidal Tendencies is also one of my favorite bands all time.
Yeah, I saw them twice. I really like the Still Psycho After All These Years CD. I don't know if you remember it. They took all the catalog, but it's a really awesome sounding CD. And you're a really metalhead, man.
Hey, all I wanted was a Pepsi.
So when the gathering stopped, what was your thinking? What you wanted to do? You were always a creative guy. Am I right? What was in your mind and on your mind to think? What do I do with the things I've already done? Where do I go?
I was on the SAE, School for Audio Engineering. Okay. And more, my guitar started to say to me, why am I sounding like this? Instead of like, hey guys, I got a new melody. So more and more, I was like...
More technician. You became a technician.
Yeah. So on a tour, I was standing at the front of the house with our sound guy. Oh, this is how you do it like this. In the studio, you can do this. Yeah, but Jelmer, this is live sound. That's different. And by the way, Jelmer, yeah, you're supposed to be up there on the stage.
and going.
And that's where it started to feel like, you know, maybe it's over.
You really thought that at that time?
It started to grow. Yeah.
Okay. And
I was starting to play drums, and the sound guy, I was just trying some paradiddle kind of thing. And the sound guy came up to, hey, are you trying the paradiddles? And he sees me behind the drums.
Okay.
So then it started to grow and to feel like, you know what, maybe it's over.
You never thought about a solo album?
I am working again, and I finally found 2 people which I can share audio files with. Because my music ideas is one big puzzle, and that's what my girlfriend said. Jelmer, we have to create that puzzle because you have really, really nice ideas.
So we're gonna hear a solo Jelmer album
There
soon.
is going to be something absolutely
Nice, man.
And we're going to present it here in Rock Hands. We want to talk about the new things, but you did some things in the 2000s. For example, I got a Dead Can Dance tribute album. You're a fan of the dark synth pop bands?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dead Can Dance is for me a pretty hard thing to listen to. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I don't want to put you down, but I can't listen to it anymore. We played it at the funeral of a very good friend of us.
Okay.
And since then, for me, listening to Dead Can Dance is that album, The Serpent and
The Serpent's Egg. Okay.
Yeah, that's for me. I can't listen to that anymore.
Yeah.
It happens. And you also were playing with Anik in a live album, right? In a solo live album from her?
No, that was Danny from Anathema.
Ah, okay.
I did some shows with her, Aqua de Anik. I went on tour with them as a sound guy.
And how was the 25 reunion show with the gathering? Karina showed me the videos. It was awesome, man. And it was like a big bowl of music from dark, black, trip hop. It was crazy.
It was crazy. Indeed.
The only persons who didn't want to come, and I can understand, was Niels from the second album.
Oh.
And we didn't even ask her.
Okay.
So actually almost everybody who did something on Gathering albums were there. And it was really okay. Rock star planet, really. It was so awesome.
It was awesome. It really was.
Was only one show, or you did a tour?
I wasn't on a stage for a long time. I was a sound engineer working my ass off. And then Hans asked me, would you like to join the show? The two albums with Always and Bart and everybody is going to be there. And I put on the show and I put on the albums and it was like...
Yeah, I can't even remember, man.
It was like yesterday. I played everything together in the same time.
So it came back. It came everything back to you.
Like riding a bike, Jelmer.
Oh, really. And it was so funny. We had like a lot of Chilean people from South America. We had Japanese people. We had people from the UK and the US. All the world was there.
Yeah.
It was so respectful.
Fans and new fans, I think, also.
And the moment I walked on stage, Renee said to me, Jelmer, beware. There are Chilean people in front of the stage. I walk onto the stage and the intro starts and I didn't hear anything anymore. Those people make so many noise. So I just was looking at Hans and he was like, 1, 2.
The silent count.
I couldn't hear anything. It was really Planet Rockstar all over. And then after the first show, they said like, Jelmer, and I was like, yeah. Do you know that there are a lot of people with a pile of CDs and albums and there is only one autograph missing?
What's the difficult one? The difficult one.
There you go. Bolígrafo. No?
Polígrafo.
Yeah.
Bolígrafo. There you go. Have fun.
Have fun with it.
And then you felt like your wrist was like this. Oh man.
So really, it was a great, awesome day. We actually wanted to do one show. And that show was sold out in less than an hour.
And you have to repeat.
And then we said to the venue where I was working once in a while, we said like, hey, can we do like another one? And they said like, yeah, we can put curtains to make the room, half. 1 hour later,
sold out.
Yeah, you have to take the curtain down again, man.
And what was your expectations of that show when you start rehearsing and all of this and all the memories came back, you know?
We were rehearsing without vocals. So Bart and Anneke and Celia, they were not there. So we just were playing the songs in that crappy rehearsal room.
Okay.
And when the first song started with all those vocals, I was sitting on the left next to Hugo. That was my place on the stage.
Okay.
And I was looking at Hugo like, did you know this? And Hugo looked at me like, what the fuck?
What's going on, man?
We didn't know. We didn't practice with vocals. We just played songs. And they did their own thing. And it was so awesome. The magic, what happened there on stage.
Everything was there. It was 2015? Yeah.
14.
14, okay. Not so long ago. And what about the new songs? Where you go in some kind of anticipation of the sound? You're keeping those big riffs.
Give us a scoop, Jelmer.
What was the scoop?
Give us a scoop of what your next album's gonna sound like.
Okay. I'm working on quite different things. I call it singer, stoner, writer.
Okay.
And today I have been making a very dark soundscape with the voice of my girlfriend going to work.
Okay.
And that's a new thing for me. It's nice to make a weird kind of a soundscape with noises from, she lives in Ciudad de Mexico.
Okay.
And the noises from the metro and the buses and the horns from the cars and
the chaos.
Just the chaos. Press button. Press record. Press record. Panadero, welcome pan. Panadero, welcome pan.
Wow. And what you're planning to do with it? Just release it, keep it for you. What's the plan?
For now, I have to learn a bit more about, I have Ableton 11 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit rusty, so I have to keep, studying.
Okay.
That's the software, right? Software for editing and recording, the Ableton.
It's no, not yet. And I said for like a million years, before I am 50, there will be something. Music, a book, how to give what, there will be something.
You're planning on writing a book?
With a friend of mine, she's a really good writer.
Okay.
And in the metal scene in the Netherlands, everybody has so many anecdotes, so beautiful stories. So we were like, shall we write a book? But it's going to be 3 books about 500 pages from all those people.
Like the Lord of the Rings, my man.
It's going to be something like that.
But it will be very cool to have those stories from Netherlands metal scene, because it's a smaller scene, but important as Danish, as Argentinian, or even Mexican metal scenes, and you have all kind of pretty good stories down there. I've
been dying to ask you this. What was your most awesome concert? What was the one that you said, I'm on the top of the F world?
No festivals, only one band concert.
No, including festivals. No.
That's a bit tricky.
Yeah. Well, maybe it was a festival. You don't know, buddy boy.
Maybe the first show we ever did.
The first one.
That's when we realized here is something going on. Our parents were there as well.
Oh.
They were looking at all those people, black shirts, long hair, and they were like, ooh, what the hell?
What's going on, man?
And after the recordings, always. Yeah, sure.
So the first one, that was in what year, Jelmer?
I was 15. So
15?
We're talking about 1989, 1990.
Okay, 19.
And then we recorded always. And the first sold out show, everybody was there. It was also in Willem II where we found Anneke. And our parents were also like, what's going on here? They took up the management from the band because nobody knew what the hell is going on here.
Really? Your parents?
Yeah.
Wow.
Please take care of my boys.
Yeah, they were really like, okay, what's going on here?
So they were into music too. I mean, classical and all you wanna say about that, but they were into music.
My dad is a pretty good organ player.
Wow.
He was, but that wasn't his job.
It was not his job, but he used to play organ in a church, and he still has a piano. My sister is a very good, how do you say this?
Flautist?
The side flute.
Okay.
She did conservatorium and all that stuff. Some of my uncles can play really well trombone, trumpet, the bugle, the horn.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So we have a pretty musical family. My mom,
Nothing. Okay.
The whole symphony there.
Well, that was the management thing. It was maybe it was your mom's destiny, my man. The management thing.
My dad and another mother and another father, they started it to pick it up and find out what's going on here. How does this work? Well, what do we do?
Okay, interesting. So that should be the beginning of your book. Your family was all around music, right?
Most of them, yeah.
So it was kind of a path you were about to embark, right? So
we have 2 years. You're 48. Until 50, we will have the book and the CD. That's a commitment.
the record and the book. We're gonna expect that.
Carina, she said to me, Jelmer, I'm just a normal, simple, small Mexicana. She can sing, she can play guitar, and she doesn't know it, how good she is for that. I sent her a file on Ableton, and somehow we cannot listen to the microphone recordings. Maybe it's because Windows and Mac. But you can listen to the MIDI files. And then she starts to play with Ableton, and all of a sudden I got a big fat drum beat with delays and everything in the storage, and I'm like, ah. She is much more talented than she knows. So I found someone to make music with.
That's cool, man.
That's cool.
How do you two meet?
Yeah.
I mean, you're Dutch, she's Mexican.
Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay, Facebook thing.
Facebook, baby.
People you might know, and I saw that she was a fan of The Gathering, and I'm not like, you know, I want people in my Facebook group. I just saw Carina Boteo, and a lot of people like me as well. We have a funny name on Facebook, so Carina, put the N, so you have Carina.
Okay.
Boteo, change the A, you know, Boteo, Botea.
Okay.
So you have Carina Botea. And I thought that was her Facebook name, but no, that's her real name.
Okay.
Carina Botea Solorio.
Okay.
And she was living in Mexico at the time?
Still, she's living in the Big Monster.
Yeah. And you were in the Netherlands.
Yep.
And then what happened?
We've been talking almost a year, and I've been in Mexico for 1 month.
Okay.
And then she has been here for a month in the Netherlands.
Okay, so
yeah, it's the first woman in my life who I said to, and I want to be with you for the rest of my life.
So nice. When are you coming to Mexico City?
I had a luckily thingy with the tax company, so I could buy the plane ticket. And we have seen so many things. Mexico is muy bien.
Sí.
It's awesome. Yeah.
We had to choose, or she had to choose some spots for, like, okay, we cannot go to Monterrey, that's too far away. We went to she's from Irapuato.
Irapuato.
It's a port.
Irapuato muy peligroso.
Irapuato, it's not that cool of a city, huh? It isn't.
We went to her mom's house to pick up the car from her brother to go road tripping.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I'm coming, come along. And they were like, her brother, big guy, you know, really.
Uh-huh.
And also Karina, strong girl. And she was like, no, not gonna happen. And I was like, okay. And they were saying like, whatever you do, wait till we get back, because you are not going alone on the streets here.
Well, I mean,
they took care of you.
Her mom, it was so funny. We came at around 11 o'clock in the morning, and the whole table was filled with food and Mexicana. How do you say cocina mexicana?
Cocina mexicana, sí, sí.
Mexicana, yeah.
A lot of dishes on the table.
Bro, that was really awesome. And her mom said like, oh no, don't worry, I locked the door behind you, he's not gonna come out.
Some favorite Mexican food you remember? Some dish?
I never had that before. The pork skin.
Chicharrón.
Chicharrón. Yeah.
Chicharrón in green sauce. Pretty wild. Pretty
green sauce.
Chicharrón in green sauce. Yeah.
Oh my.
Chicharrón en salsa verde.
Oh, Karina is a salsa terrorist, believe me.
every Mexican is a salsa terrorist.
But it can go from sweet and mild to flames out of your ears, you know.
We all Mexicans are like that. We all are. We've been trained to do that since we were born, man.
1400.
Yeah, it's like hummus in the Middle East. It's something like that. You just grew with that.
I'm pretty good in making curries.
Uh-huh.
And now I discovered the Cocina de Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty good with Dutch food. So I have a couple of things.
Different options there. Yeah. I like, you eat a lot of moussaka there. It's Greek, but I tried in the Netherlands. The moussaka.
Moussaka, that's Greekish.
Yeah. But I ate a lot in the Netherlands. I don't know why.
Okay. Around my corner, there's a really good Greek restaurant. Some are really bad, but this is a really good one. And Karina was also like, wow, I never had this before.
Yeah. I want to ask you the last musical question, then we can wrap up.
Sorry.
If you can name some guitarists or axe bands that influence you, or the best, or one, or the ones you want.
It started a bit with with Anthrax and Metallica, and I think that what's his name again from Guns N' Roses?
Slash?
Sorry?
The guitar player from Guns N' Roses.
Slash.
Slash. Yeah, sorry. Slash is like a really underestimated guitar player.
Yes, he is.
He has a very good tone.
I don't care a rat's ass about the Rolling Stones or the Beatles. It's nice, but I don't care about it. I got more into punk rock and metal, and I once went to Paco Peña. Paco Peña is a very famous flamenco Spanish.
Flamenco.
And the first I saw him once and was like, wow.
How many fingers?
Really. So those kind of things, you know, metal, punk, reggae. Cool. I listened a lot to really the depressing reggae. Bob Marley is cool. Yes, but Linton Kwesi Johnson speaks about the shit from his heart.
Peter Tosh
as well. Yeah. You know, those kind of reggae things. Dub Syndicate. Dub Syndicate is really doomy, dark, dub reggae kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that influenced my life with music.
Okay.
Cool. I almost got from the punk to the reggae a lot, but more Steel Pulse or more English reggae bands, but really cool. Jelmer, I enjoyed a lot this time. I don't know, Jorge, you got some last question?
Some closure. Well, I was really blown out by all the things I've heard about the gathering. I wasn't a fan. I must be honest. I've listened to it long time ago. I never got into it really. Man, I was hearing the mandolin. I was blown out, man. I really do. I honestly. I think it's gonna be on the playlist often. Yes, it's gonna be in there, man. Jelmer, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. But the magic, what happened in that studio in those 2 weeks.
I'm gonna take that, you know. I'm gonna take that every time I listen to it.
Because you don't get to know that things from musicians. Now we know the 2 weeks on the mandolin, and that will increase the legend of the record. So you're awesome. Thank you for your time. Hope you have you back again when you want. You're a friend of the house.
You can call me every time when you want.
We're looking forward for that book and that CD, my friend.
Yeah. 2 years. 2 years, man. You got 2 years.
I got 2 years to go. Go, go, go.
but really,
I got a kick in my ass right now that I found some people. Do you know the band Diogenes from Chile?
Diogenes?
Diogenes? No, Diogenes.
No.
It's a prog rock band.
Okay.
And the guitar player is friended with the guitar player from The Gathering, and that's how we met. And he's a really awesome, good guitar player. And he feels like the way I want to make music. So we're with 3 people right now, my girlfriend, him, and let's make something.
Dude, you got the magic, so let it flow.
There you are.
The magic is in there. You just have to let it go. Am I right?
Hey ho, here we
Let's go, man.
Jelmer, thank you very much, man. We really appreciate your time. It was a really fun chat. And we hope to see you soon, my man.
Thank you for having me. This was really a lot of fun. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
To make some music right now.
Bye-bye for Las Tías del Rock. See you soon, my friends and metal friends. Bye.